Hmm? Ah!
Hey, guys, seriously, come on. Talk to me. What's up?
Oh, we're fine. Yeah, I'm all right.
Okay.
We're in a shit fucking mood because we never fucking win at Everton and it sucks fucking shit.
Oh, come on, fellas. How long's it been since y'all won up at Everton?
60 years ago.
Jesus Christ. Wow, that is a heck of a long time. Okay. So we got that going on, and obviously we're bummed out that O'Brien tore his butt.
It's my upper hamstring, coach.
Well, you tore your butt, son. There's nothing to be ashamed of, okay? It happens. People tear their butts all the time in athletics. You're not alone, man. Hey, coach, you've torn your butt a few times, right?
3 times.
3 times. Butt's an amazing muscle. God is my witness. Your butt will heal.
Welcome to another episode of the Revisited podcast. I'm Ben.
And I'm Kristin. This week we are covering Ted Lasso Season 1, Episode 7, Make Rebecca Great Again. Which I was very nervous about this episode.
You were nervous about this episode?
Well, the first time that I watched it, because I am not a MAGA. I'm the complete opposite of a MAGA. And so when I saw this episode title is a big reason why I didn't start watching the show until after the first season had actually aired. Because I was like, I am not watching a show that has an episode titled this. No, absolutely not.
And you know what's
I was
really
wrong.
And you know what's really weird about it is that, like, I get your hesitance because of the title of the episode, but in all honesty, this is probably one of the best episodes of the season.
Agreed.
Not just from our perspective, but even if you look at the ratings of the episodes, the only episode of the season rated higher than this one is the finale.
Which is fantastic.
And it's only by like 0.1. Like, this episode is rated at a 9.0 and the finale is a 9.1.
This episode of television has everything in it. Everything. You're laughing, you're crying. It's got suspense. It's perfect.
It's huge moments for a number of characters.
Absolutely.
In this episode.
And this is the episode that was used that got what's his name? Well, Nate. I don't know his actual name right now off the top of my head. What's wrong with me? Anyways, it got Nate.
It's Nick Mohammed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It got Nick Mohammed an Emmy nomination for this episode. This was the episode that they submitted, which is perfect because this is his best episode maybe ever.
I think it is. Yeah, I think this is one of Nate's biggest episodes. And
other than season 3, Nate, which Nate goes on a bit of a journey in season 3. That's not a spoiler. Other than season 3, Nate, I think this is Nate's really finest moment.
Yeah, it's again, we talk about huge moments for particular characters, and this is a huge moment. I mean, it's titled Make Rebecca Great Again because this episode is huge for Rebecca, but it is a huge moment for Nate in this particular episode.
Yes.
Huge
100%.
Huge change for the better. For a lot of characters.
Yeah, I mean, my first note that I actually have about this episode is that I feel like it highlights losses throughout the group. Like, the big loss that is kind of hanging over the episode is Jamie.
Yeah, so hang on to that for a moment.
I don't want to.
We got to do the typical what we usually do.
We don't do spoilers until we tell you that there's spoilers. Blah. Sorry, that was very unprofessional and rude of me.
Jesus.
I was so excited.
So, yes, just to make it clear, if this is your first time viewing Ted Lasso, and this past weekend, I was in Rhode Island, and I actually got to spend a little time with our friend Jill because I was staying at her house. And we were actually listening to episode 5 of our coverage of the show while we were driving, because while we were in the car, episode 6 hadn't released yet. It was scheduled to release while I was away, but it hadn't released yet. So we were listening to episode 5. And she asked me, she's like, how come you guys don't do spoiler coverage? She's like, do you have a number of people that are watching for the first time? I was like, yeah, we actually have a number of people that are watching for the first time. So we're doing it a little differently because we don't want to ruin those moments for those people.
Well, because it's still, it's a newer rewatch.
The show ended less than a year ago.
Right.
So
it's not like Lost where it ended like 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that's why we're doing it again a little bit differently. But on that note, as you so unprofessionally mentioned, we are avoiding spoilers for the most part during our main conversation. However, we will go into spoiler territory a little bit later on into the episode. Just check the show notes to find out what time it is we start and what time you can come back when we return for favorite quotes and feedback and all of that good stuff. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, continue with your thought.
Okay. So like I said earlier, like this episode really highlights losses for the group. One of them being chiefly Jamie. Mm-hmm. Jamie is gone. And I think that it's so noticeable. I mean, it would have still been noticeable had there not been this like depression in the locker room and the reporters that were asking about, how are you without Jamie, blah, blah, blah. Like that was a huge moment last week when Jamie was sent back to Man City. So for that to kind of be hanging over in the air, I thought that they did a really good job of creating that tension for the viewer. Excuse me. And then you also have Ted and his loss of his marriage. You have Rebecca and the remembrance of the loss of her marriage, plus the being confronted with the fact that she lost her best friend for a number of years along the way in her marriage to Rupert. And then you have the team. The team not only has lost Jamie, but they've also lost to this team for the past 60 years.
Yeah.
So it's a lot about kind of like claiming that loss for yourselves and coming out of it and moving forward. As Rebecca says later in the episode, she says, what does she say? She says, this weekend is about moving forward or something like that. Let me see if I can find it. That's spoiler talk. This weekend is moving forward. When the champagne arrives, we're going to get drunk, have a nice meal, and leave the past in the past. And I feel that line right there really separated okay, we're sad about losing, but now we're going to try and move on.
Yeah, and I agree with you completely about, loss being a big moment and a big overarching theme, but I feel like there's two themes to this episode, because you're right. The first half of the episode does start with loss and that being of the overarching theme, but it becomes a literal theme of letting go.
Oh, yes.
Later on, because, I mean, in addition to the song that Rebecca sings being Let It Go from Frozen, it seems like that's something that a lot of these characters are ending up having to do. There's something that they're releasing their grip on, whether it's good in their life or whether it's negative in their life or positive in their life. Letting go of something negative or moving on to something positive. There's, in some way, shape, or form, a number of these characters are letting go of something. Mm-hmm. And that becomes the theme. So we go from loss to acceptance a little bit.
Yeah.
In a matter of 35 minutes.
Yes.
In this episode. And the key characters that really pertains to end up being Rebecca, obviously, Ted himself, and as we mentioned at the top of the podcast, Nate is another one.
Oh, that's true.
But Roy also has something that he lets go. He lets go of his anger that he's holding in. That is a realization thanks to Nate. And we kind of have, I think Keely in some way has some things that she's kind of releasing. We'll go into
of her relationship with Jamie, and she's embracing a possibility of a new one.
Exactly. And then we also have the team itself letting go of the fact, because as you mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we have this whole journey that this team is going on. They're entering into facing a team that they haven't beaten in 60 years. And they're doing it now without their key player. Without their star player.
And their goalie has a torn butt. I mean, that's really, we're really burying the lead here, okay?
Yes.
It's the torn butt that's really tearing them all up.
It's the torn butt. But, you know, like, and this is something that's kind of holding them back. But then it's after Nate's speech, and by the end of this team has accepted they don't need Jamie.
They're a different team at the end of this episode. Yes. I mean, at the end of last episode, we thought, oh, they're a different team now. No, they're a different team now. Like they keep evolving and growing. And that's Ted's influence. That is all Ted. Because if they didn't have Ted, I really don't think that they would have been able to get to this point. Nate wouldn't have a role on the team.
Oh, right? No, absolutely. He would have just been the kit man, and that's it.
Right. And and he'd probably still be abused. Jamie would still be on the team, but he would be a cancer to the team. There'd be no cohesion. It would be a mess. Like when you think about the reason why, you know, Richmond is probably lost to Liverpool. Sorry.
I still had water in my mouth as you said that too. My microphone almost got a bath.
So sorry.
I was ready to just let it go, and then you reiterated it, and I still had water in my mouth.
Oh my gosh, what was I talking about? Oh, wait. Nope, I lost it. It's fine. I said Liverpool. It's over.
You were talking about the losses that this team has had.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they would have continued to lose to everybody, given on the trajectory that they were on. The only reason why they won against Everton in Liverpool is because of the Ted Lasso effect.
Well, I mean, you jokingly mentioned the torn butt, and you know, while it is funny, it is kind of a key moment because it is something that kind of brings the team around. He jokes with, you know, they are all down in the dumps. And, you know, they know this is a team that they have never beaten. Generations before them have never beaten this team. Mm-hmm. You know, so they're not, you know, they're just following in a sad tradition. But Ted kind of cheers them up in a little bit, like with the torn butt comment and bringing Beard into it. Beard, how many times have you torn your butt? 3 times. And
Beard is such a good hype man.
Yeah, exactly. The Beard is just... God, he's one of my favorite characters on this series.
But he just goes with whatever ridiculous thing that comes out of Ted's mouth.
Well, because they have that relationship with each other. Like there is a genuine friendship between the two of them. And we're not going to dive too much into it but that will go deeper later.
You and I share the same brain because my brain was headed in that direction as well.
You will find out when you find out the true
backstory
connection between Ted and Beard.
Mm-hmm.
It is surprising, but surprisingly heartwarming.
Yes.
At the same time. And we're not going to find that out for a while. Like
a long while.
That stays a mystery until almost the end of the series.
Oh, like the second to last episode.
I think it's like the penultimate episode. Yeah, that you find out their true connection.
And it's beautiful. Beautiful. It's something that you knew was true. Like you knew that that backstory existed, but to hear it out loud and have it confirmed, it's just the way that they did that was really beautiful. You know, Dave and I say to this day that Ted Lasso is the most vulgar, wholesome show you will ever watch.
Oh, you said that a number of times on this podcast.
Because it's true. It is so wholesome, and I can't show it to my children. Like ever. Like I'm trying to think of an instance in which, can I show this? No, they have to be full-blown adults. No.
When there is a teen at the end of one of their ages, maybe.
No, that's next year for Danny.
Well, I think Danny would be okay.
Think about Roy and Keely's relationship. Like, really
I take
think
back
about
exactly what I just said.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
I take back what I said.
Immediate regret. That's what that feels like.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, like it's just he in that moment in the beginning, like he jokes about the torn butt, but it is such a lighthearted moment that it kind of brings the team around a little bit.
Mhm.
There's still definitely a lot of reservation in them. Because even when they say Richmond on 3 to head out to the bus, Danny's really the only one that kind of jams into it. And Roy's like, yeah, let's just go to the fucking bus. Like, they're still very reserved in their enthusiasm towards this game.
Well, I mean, they still don't know who they are as a team. And they thought that they knew, but Jamie was ripped away in their moment of connection. That we're Richmond till we die. We're rich. I mean, what a great, beautiful, wholesome moment. And this team really starts to gel. And then they're immediately put back on the opposite feeling of that. They're of course they're going to be upset. They don't know their identity. And they have a brand new coach who, I mean, he's a good guy, but do they trust him? Probably not.
Well, I mean, you mentioned how by the end of this episode, they're a different team, and you're absolutely right. But I feel like in a further deeper sense, I feel like by the end of this episode, this becomes a different show.
Yes, 100%.
I mean,
because we see Rebecca has joined the team in this episode.
Yeah. And
right?
That's something I have in my notes too, is that when they win the game, Rebecca is in the locker room.
Yes.
She's not only in the locker room, she's celebrating and she congratulates Ted.
That is not that, and that shouldn't be overlooked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a small moment, but it's a huge moment. And then she goes out to karaoke with them.
Yeah, she joins them. Now, I mean, there can be an argument to be made that Sassy's the one that kind of forced her into it, but I don't think that's the case at all.
Oh, no. Sassy did it, but Sassy needed to do it. Good job, Sassy.
Well, I mean, and I have that, like, and we'll dive into Sassy a little bit more because I fucking love Sassy.
I think we all love Sassy.
But
in Sassy we trust.
There's a particular line that is said by, I know we'll do quotes a little later, but there's a particular line that's said by Sassy. And I feel like it's very important because she says to Keeley, that's not Rebecca. The real Rebecca is silly, strong, but not cold. If you like that woman, then you are going to love Rebecca.
Yep. I have that written down as well.
Sassy knows. Sassy sees it immediately. And it's something, we've talked about for a while about how like we really haven't met Rebecca yet. We met Rebecca this episode.
And she's wonderful.
Yeah.
And she's wonderful. I mean, she's so wonderful. Nah, that's for spoilers. Never mind. But and I think that we needed Sassy to humanize Rebecca. Because as of until we met Sassy, she's a woman scorned. We see that there's something inside Rebecca that she's not letting go of. This should have been called Letting Go, but whatever. The episode. And Sassy, and that's for anybody. Everybody has that friend that has known you for so long that they'll come in and be like, you are being ridiculous. I am going to make people see you for who you are right now because you are fucking magic.
Well, the moment that Rebecca and Sassy are outside, having a cigarette, and she says to Rebecca, like, she calls Rebecca out on the person that she has become. She tells her, Rupert is this horrible person. He built this ivory tower that he trapped you in, but you climbed every step on your own. And then I think I have, do I have the line in particular? I don't know if I do.
I do. Where is it? Because I have a lot of Sassy and Rebecca.
Oh, you have to own up to the part that you played.
And so I was going to talk about this, and I'd like to talk about this just for a second. I'm going to get kind of serious for a second on this. If you've been listening to me across the years, over the years, in all the different podcasts that I've had with Podcastica and with Ben, you would know that I was in a very abusive relationship before I met my husband. And this is somebody that this is where I really relate to Rebecca, because Rebecca has this feeling that Rupert ruined her. Rupert took her away from her life. Rupert is the one who is the villain, 100% responsible for the way that she's turned out. And Sassy keeps it real in this moment. And she says, Rupert may have built, and I'm paraphrasing, Rupert may have built this ivory tower for you, but you willingly climbed every single step of that tower. You willingly turned your back on your friends. And I was isolated from my friends by this person that I was with. And I turned my back on my friends. I turned my back on my family. I turned my back on my sister in her last 6 months of her life. And I have to, and I have had to own up to that over the last 18 years. I've had to reconcile myself with that. And for Rebecca to get this piece of advice so close to so close to her actual divorce and separation from Rupert is a gift. It's a gift that not a lot of people are willing to give to somebody who has been abused over the years, and because you want to build that person up. And Sassy's like, listen, I can build you up all day long, but you also have to own up to the fact that you were a terrible friend. You were a terrible person to do this. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in this moment, I really love Sassy and Rebecca. I think that without Sassy, Rebecca wouldn't have become the person that she ends up becoming throughout this show. If Sassy never came back into her life, Rebecca wouldn't have reclaimed her identity so fast, and she wouldn't have been able to reconcile her past and claim her identity and her future.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. And I appreciate you sharing that story, even for anybody who might not. I know it, but I know to anybody who might not have known it, I appreciate you sharing that. Because, I mean, again, and that doesn't just go for females trapped in abusive relationships as well. Males can be in the same way, because I was 100%. I was in a horrible relationship earlier on in my life where I isolated a lot of my friends as well. And it's regrets. You know, there are things about that I regret as well. So it can apply either way, but you know, to be able to be two people who've been in that situation and to kind of see it, we can kind of realize and appreciate the gravity of this conversation between Sassy and Rebecca. And I agree with you completely. I feel like the introduction of Sassy's character in this particular moment is incredibly important to the development of Rebecca's character and the progression of Rebecca's character, because we see a completely different Rebecca going forward. And as far as the title of the episode goes, you mentioned how it could be, you know, should it be called Letting Go? I feel like the play on Make Rebecca Great Again was Sudeikis and the writers of this show taking a statement that has become so derogatory and negative and polarizing, and actually putting a good memory behind it by using it for the title of the episode. And
isn't that just exactly what Ted Lasso is? Because it did come out. This episode was aired September 11th, 2020, which in America is a very symbolic day. But it's a symbolic day in a very, very difficult year, 2020. And you get this beautiful episode of television that I wish I had seen on that day, because it would have lifted my spirits.
Yeah, and me as well. I mean, but again, like, I feel like it's taking a statement that, again, has become so polarizing and using it to put a positive memory
100%
to relate to it. You know, by changing one word and making it about that character, but making it a positive spin.
Yeah, because Rebecca, I mean, we can't forget that Rebecca started off as a villain, and she's slowly becoming our hero.
Yeah.
And that is so cool.
There's so much. There's a reason why this is one of my favorite episodes of the season. You know, we haven't even touched on Ted yet, and we will.
Stupid Michelle. I hate her. I hate her so hard. We have it's going to be played during spoilers. So unfortunately, if you haven't seen the show, you're not going to be able to hear it. But we do have a rebuttal from one of our listeners on your opinions on Michelle. I haven't listened to it yet, so I don't know what he has to say. But he said to save it for spoilers because he's probably going to be talking about the future
of this.
Yeah.
of this
Okay.
character.
Well, I don't care, Greg. I don't care, Greg. Listen to me now. I don't care what you have to say. I will not change my mind on Michelle Lasso. But I invite your opinion because I am open-minded and tolerant and inclusive. But you're wrong.
Well, while we're talking about it, let's just get that out of the way and talk about this. We see in the beginning of this episode, Michelle has already. I can imagine between last episode and this one, or 2 episodes ago, episode 5, when Michelle visits, to this one, it can't be any more than 2 to 3 weeks time.
Yeah, because they're in the middle of a season, and I don't know how soccer goes because football's once a week, but baseball's like every day. So
Yeah.
I don't know how soccer is.
I can't imagine it's been any more than 2 to 3 weeks time.
Yeah,
and there are already divorce papers in Ted's hand, not drawn up, in Ted's hand.
Yeah.
Which means they have been drawn up, terms have been agreed upon, and they have been sent to the UK, which takes a little time. That is a lengthy process, to the point where she had to have started it the moment she got home.
They were already drawn up.
You think?
She went there because she was going to divorce him 100%. 100%. And we are in the age of DocuSign. I'm not really sure why we had papers, but whatever.
Yeah, you know what? That's a really good point, especially to the point where her lawyer text messages him and says, "Oh, great news! You can just send a photo." In addition to the already massive amount of pressure that she has been putting on him to get these documents signed.
Yeah, you know what? He has a huge game coming up. I mean, this is going up against a team in Liverpool that they haven't beaten in 60 years. Like, granted, Ted didn't know that, and she probably knows even less, but he's still in the middle of a season in a brand new team, in a brand new country, and she's pressuring him right before game day. F her.
And you know what? I'm actually 100% on the same page with you on this one too, because when she has that video call with Ted, well, it's really with his son first, and then she jumps in at the end. She's like, "Hey, did you get a chance to sign the papers?" And he's like, "Oh, I'll get to it." She ends the conversation with, "Oh, good luck this weekend." No, sorry, you don't have the right now to end that conversation with that.
Yeah, and she's like, "Good luck, we're rooting for you. Good job." And I'm looking at her, I'm like, "You are the devil."
Because
the devil.
You pressuring him to get those paper signs has already become a distraction.
Yeah.
From that game. You do not have the right to say, "Oh, good luck this weekend."
Right.
No, you've already ruined that.
Well, and then she texts him again, and then she has her lawyer text him. The only thing that would have made it worse is if who had also followed up with a text or a call.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, again,
because who is already there.
I have a feeling that who, and we're teetering on spoiler territory, but
I don't care right now.
I don't care right now either. I wouldn't be surprised if who was the reason why those papers were already drawn.
Duh. Who drew them up.
Well, I don't know if he has the legal representation.
Hey,
who?
Who. Not he, she. Who.
Sorry. I don't think who has the legal ability to do that, but he wasn't who was an influence in that decision happening.
100%.
And not only
1,000%.
And not only that, but if you didn't want to add pressure to him, if you did not want to distract him from that, okay, maybe you can be a little forgiving in the fact that she mentioned it during the video call because she wanted to remind him. To send him a text message reminding him again the night before the fucking game. No. Unforgivable. If you didn't want him distracted from the game because of this, if you did not want this on his mind and you wanted him clear-headed for that game, you would not have sent that text message.
Yeah, and how is it that as a mother, you don't understand? Because he has done nothing wrong. Let's just be clear of this. She has fallen out of love with him. He did nothing wrong.
She admitted that.
Yeah. So how do you, as a mother, completely annihilate your husband or soon to be ex-husband in this way? It's cruel. He loses his family. he loses his family in this weekend.
Yeah.
And she uses their son as a way to get his attention in a video call. Oh, yeah, you can talk to Henry. His name is Henry, right?
Yes, Henry.
You can talk to Henry, but you make sure that I get to end the phone call. So he'll be on a high from talking to my son Henry, but I'm going to bring him immediately down. And I think that that's a good idea. Like, how diabolical do you have to be to put that man through that when he did nothing wrong?
Yeah. You give him the time that he needs to do it. To sign those papers. That is to
Michelle, what's the rush?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, exactly. There's a rush. Which again is I can't talk about it.
I know, it's so hard. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
We got to move on.
Yeah. So I'm with you on Michelle on this one. Again, like, I can be a little forgiving to kind of bring it up to him during that video call, but to send that text message the night before the game, which is literally the next day after the phone call, he has not forgotten. He took the papers with him.
But he's also on a work trip. Like, leave him alone.
Exactly. If it were me, I would have been like, papers are in the office. Sorry, I can't talk about it now.
Yeah, I gotta focus on this game.
I would not have taken those papers to Liverpool.
But of course, Ted's going to do it because that's the kind of guy that he is.
Yeah, exactly.
He wants to do whatever is best for everyone else and not for him, which is why the anxiety sets in later. Because you can completely tell up until this point in the season that he compartmentalizes everything, right? Well, when you do that, when you become so good at doing that, which he has obviously done, all of that can kind of compound on each other into a moment of like severe overstimulation, like he was in at the karaoke bar.
Well, I was just going to say, let's kind of steer away from Michelle and talk about what this does.
Oh, well, then I did that perfectly.
To Ted. Oh, it was a great transition.
Thank you so much.
You know, we've seen Ted kind of on the cusp of panic a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
This
like with the shaking and everything, like with the small camera tricks along the way.
This is a full-blown panic attack that he has. And I think that to as much as we love Rebecca in this moment with the singing of Let It Go, that's a huge thing that kind of triggers it. Mm-hmm. Because this is a song literally called Let It Go, something Ted is having a lot of difficulty doing. And that's not
in his character.
No, he even says it. Like, I promised I would never give up on anything.
Yeah.
And Michelle says, well, like, you're not giving up, you're letting me go. It's the same thing. Letting go is giving up to Ted.
Oh my gosh. So that probably triggered him.
That's what I was saying.
Me go, and then she sings "Let It Go," and that was the trigger. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. In that,
very good.
As much as this is a great moment for Rebecca, it is triggering to Ted.
That is beautiful. Good job.
The song "Let It Go" is a trigger to Ted in this moment because that's when it happens. You can see him rubbing his fingers because his hands are starting to shake, and he kind of has to leave the room.
Ben, that's so good. Good job. Seriously, that was good. I love that connection.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, and the beautiful thing about this moment is that who comes to his rescue is Rebecca. He couldn't have been outside that long. So you have to imagine that Rebecca probably saw this happen while she was on stage singing and immediately left the room when she was done and headed outside to find Ted.
Yeah, I mean, really, and it's so funny because you see him walk through, because they obviously had their own back room, right? That was their own back room, which is so cool. Such a baller move. But you see him walk through this awful club scene. Like, I'm sure it's really fun. And when I was 20, 25, that would have been super fun. But at 43 years old, I'm looking at this man walk through that club scene. And I'm like, oh, this is just, I'd be in the fetal position in the middle of the dance floor at this point.
it's anxious. It makes you anxious enough
Ooh,
to walk through something like that normally, but to do it in the midst of a full-blown panic attack, he is so much worse by the time he gets outside than he was in that room.
Well, it reminded me of when, like in my early 20s, when I couldn't figure out how to drink properly. And I'd be at a club like that and I'd be like, oh, I've had too much, you know? And then all of a sudden, like all the colors and noise and everything is like swirling around you. Like
it's overstimulation.
It put me right back into that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I hate this. Like, get out, out, out. Like you want him to get out so bad.
I can tell you right now, in relation to the convention that I just worked this past weekend, I am so thankful for, one, my vape pen.
Yeah.
And two, my earbuds, my noise canceling earbuds. Because when it came times for me to walk the floor to get to a part where I had to, before I learned I was actually allowed to use back of house to get to where I needed to go, I was walking the floor. And this is a convention that has over 100,000 people.
Nope.
So, I mean,
some people thrive off of that. Like Jill thrives off of that. You and I run screaming from that.
Yeah. I needed to walk outside, take a hit of my pen, wait about 20 minutes for it to kick in, pop in my earbuds, turn them on noise canceling, and then I could hit the floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sucks. So, I mean, you're right. In these moments with Ted walking through the club, I related. Because I could feel it. I felt every bit of that anxiety.
Yep. Yeah. And then, and in all honesty, when he's out there and he's just trying to get a hold of himself, I mean, it's filmed in such a way that it could have been an hour and it could have been 5 minutes, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Because when you're in that state, time just stops. Like, and I know that you and I have had panic attacks in the past. And so, I mean, I can tell you right now that when Ted was walking away and he just looked like this defeated, tired, overwrought man, I know exactly how he feels. You want to sleep for 4 days.
Yeah.
After you've had a panic attack that intense. Like for the 24 hours after I have a panic attack, and I haven't had one in a while, which is nice. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I can't, I don't even want to get out of bed. I'm so tired.
I mean, even facing, whether it's panic attacks or anxiety, when you face something like that, you're right. It does make you physically exhausted. I mentioned the show that when I finally got back to where I was done walking the floor, I sat in a chair for a half hour and didn't move because I needed a break. I needed rest. We see the same thing out of Ted. Like, he calls it a night. He tells Rebecca, I'm going back. I'm calling it a night. Please tell Beard, that I'm going back to the hotel. And we see this is another key. We've seen a number of key points of Rebecca changing in this episode. And this is a moment, because you're going back to a point that you made earlier, how it could have been 5 minutes. It could have been an hour. I want to believe in the goodness of Rebecca, in that this was only a couple minutes time. Ted was not out there by himself. I want to believe that Rebecca saw it and went immediately after him the first chance she got. And I love how they handle the transition of the voices that he is hearing in the midst of this panic attack. Is he hears Michelle and then he hears Henry, but it's Rebecca's voice that brings him out of it.
Yeah.
Because it is a comfort, as debilitating as she has tried to be in thinking that she was a villain. It is a comfort to Ted. And there are two things that happen due to this panic attack, post-panic attack, that I feel like are key moments for these characters. The first is that when Ted says he's calling it a night, he walks away. There's this look on Rebecca's face as she's watching him walk away. And I feel like this look is a huge realization that I think she partially blames herself.
She should.
She has this look on her face as in, I'm part of the reason this man is panicking right now.
Broken.
Because I have been horrible to him.
Yeah. And what's funny is that these two have no idea how badly they need each other, and they're already and they have no idea also that they've been working positively towards each other.
Well, and that was going to my next moment.
I'm so sorry. I keep stepping on you.
It's totally fine. The text that Ted sends to her later that night, thanking her for being there, saying how nice she has been. She has no idea what it means. It doesn't matter how negative she has been towards the team, towards Ted. Ted has always seen Rebecca.
Yes.
The real Rebecca.
He knew what dress she should wear.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you're going to wear that dress. It's going to be great.
Yeah. He has, even though he hasn't met her, he has always seen her.
Yes.
He has always taken everything Rebecca has done with positivity. And even though that was not her intention, he saw through it. He has always seen through it to what her true intentions have been.
Yeah.
And it's just, we talk a lot about how much we love the friendship between Rebecca and Keeley, which I still do. And this episode is even more of that.
Keeley screwing with Rebecca was probably it just highlights how wonderful Keeley is.
Talking about how she was going to have sex with Rebecca.
Me and my friend are going to have a quick shag before we go. So you need to go. And she's just like,
Yeah. Well, not only that, but even before they leave for Liverpool and they're in the office and she's saying, well, if I was going to dip my toe back in, and Rebecca's like, oh, I thought you were actually thinking about it. And Keely's like, oh, I have. And it's just,
she's like, oh, I have. Yes.
But like we talk a lot about the friendship of Rebecca and Keeley and how great it is. And that remains throughout the rest of the series.
Yes.
But now the friendship that begins to develop with Ted and Rebecca is equally as great.
Yeah.
And we've now seen the beginning of it.
Yeah.
We've seen the very beginning of it.
The bathroom scene definitely started it. In the episode for the children. But this episode really shows that it wasn't a one-time bathroom conversation, that this is going to be a friendship.
No, I mean between Ted and Rebecca.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you meant, yeah. I'm sorry.
No. We've seen the beginning. We've seen the creation of what will become Ted and Rebecca.
Ted and Rebecca are pretty great. And what's funny is that Rebecca doesn't even know it, but everything that she's just gone through with Rupert, she's going to be able to apply it and help Ted get through his own divorce.
They're both going through divorce.
Well, she went through it. She's now trying to restart her life. He just signed the papers, right?
Yeah.
So he's in that raw state that she was once in. And I think that Ted and Keeley have started to repair that broken Rebecca. And now Rebecca gets to help repair Ted, which is
she gets to return the favor. Yeah. Because you're right. Like they have a commonality, and that's divorce.
Yes. I do want to mention a couple of things real quick. One of them was because in the same scene that you were just talking about between Rebecca and Keeley in Rebecca's office, Rebecca turns around and she's just such a bitch to Leslie.
I know.
But what's wonderful is that we see that Higgins didn't really get punished because he got a free weekend with his family. He got to watch the game with his family, and you saw how happy he was about it.
I have that in my notes too. Like this is pre-change Rebecca. We see her kind of punishing Higgins because in the last episode, at the end of the last episode, we see Higgins go off and dance with the rest of the team around the fire. This is Rebecca's way of kind of punishing Higgins for that. But you're absolutely right. This is not a punishment for Higgins. No, he got a weekend off with his family. And anybody that knows how rare that is understands that, he got a benefit. Yeah. We're going to see some pretty good Higgins moments before the end of this season too. God, I love Higgins so much. He's so great.
Also, I wanted to talk about the visiting team locker room.
Okay.
It was a bathroom. I don't know if you saw that. There were 2 urinals in there. It was a bathroom.
It's literally like a shower room.
Yeah.
You're right. There's urinals, there are showers, and there are benches.
They were all sitting there like elbow to elbow. They couldn't even get dressed on their own. Like, that's just, that can't be I don't know much about football to know, but I mean, I see visiting team locker rooms all the time in America, and they're beautiful. They're state of the art. So what is happening in England that was a visiting team locker room? There were 2 urinals in there. I'm like, are those urinals? Dave goes, no. He backs it up. We're like, yep, those are urinals.
They're urinals. It's you're right. I don't know what is, maybe it's just this team either just has a shitty locker room, or this is where they stick this team because they look so far down on AFC
them,
Richmond,
maybe
that this is just where they put them.
I bet you that's what it is.
You know, like this is their way of sticking their nose up to them. Like, you haven't beat us in 60 years. This is what you deserve.
Your team is a toilet, right?
Yeah, exactly. I want to talk a little bit about, God, I'm looking at my notes and there's still so much more that we haven't even talked about yet. So this might end up being a little bit longer of a regular episode, but I want to we talked a lot about like these characters and like realizations of letting go and acceptance. Keely has a moment in this episode when she sits down and she watches her own hotel promo. And she tells Rebecca, I don't even remember recording this. It's kind of a moment for Keely where she kind of comes to the realization that, like, I've been nothing but like a prop.
Yeah, she's had a pretty shallow existence.
Yeah. I mean, to watch a hotel promo recording that you don't even remember doing.
Yeah.
Like, that's shallow existence is a great way to put it.
What's great is that keeps coming up as a running gag.
It does. Yeah. But what I also love about it too is that, and we're talking about like those moments of letting go and acceptance.
Yeah.
Is the one person who kind of helps her accept that a little bit later on in this episode is Roy.
Oh yeah.
When he pulls her, after they win the game and he's standing on the bench and he's like, we're going out, we're celebrating, we're going to shove it in this town's face. And, you know, Sam's like, well, what are we going to do? He pulls Keely up on that bench to let her kind of do it.
She becomes a part of the team.
Yeah, exactly. Keely is now a part of this team.
It's awesome.
And she is also a part of Keely and Roy by the end of this episode.
I just got chills. I just love those two so much. Okay. Again, without going into too much detail, they are so much better for each other than Keely and Jamie ever were. Ever.
Because again, Keely was just a prop. She was just a trophy to Jamie. To Roy, she is a person.
He sees her.
Yes.
I mean, and maybe we can say that the other theme in this episode is the ability for others to see through all the bullshit, right? Roy sees Keely. Keely and Keely and Nate see Roy. Ted sees Rebecca. Rebecca sees Ted. Sassy sees Rebecca.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot of this. Okay, I understand that you have this facade up, but I know who you really are. And we really see that. I've said the word see way too many times. It's lost all meaning. But we really do start to realize that these characters really know each other. And that's really, it's neat to.
Yeah. It's neat to witness.
There you go.
Can I just say, too, one of my favorite moments of this episode is so subtle.
Oh, please tell me that it's the same thing.
When you see it, it's so great. How amazing is it to see Roy
singing along,
Let It Go.
to Let It Go. Yes, seriously, that was on my next thing to say, is that because we know how much he loves his niece.
Yes, we know how close he is to Phoebe and how much he loves Phoebe. So when you know that about Roy, you know that's exactly how he knows this song.
Bravo to Brett Goldstein too for adding that little tidbit in there.
Yeah, it's to see him singing along to Let It Go, and he's doing it so subtly, almost like he doesn't want people to see him doing it, but he can't help himself but do it.
Well, that's a very singable song. If you know the words, you're singing that song.
Yeah. Yes.
So do you know the history behind using that song in this episode?
So I don't know the history about using that song, but I do know the history about the filming of that scene, in that they apparently had to do that scene a number of times, and Hannah Waddingham sung it every time.
Oh, she's an incredible singer. But they had to also do an alternate with the song I Will Survive, because Disney said no to using the song in the episode at first. They denied it. So they filmed it and they sent the scene to Disney and said, please watch this and tell us again that we can't use it. And Disney said, no, it's approved. Go ahead.
It's so much more of a fitting song.
It was so good. And I'm so glad that Disney, that they did it that way. They didn't take no for an answer. They were hang on.
Well, not only that, because I Will Survive, I don't think would have fit as well of a trigger to Ted.
Right.
As much as Let It Go did.
Yeah.
Or Let It Go does. So Let It Go is so much better of a fitting song. And now I have even so much more respect for Hannah, knowing that she sang it every single time, and now she had to sing 2 songs.
Yeah.
Twice. Because apparently there are I've seen interviews where they talk about that scene, and they said it was a performance every time. That's from her. Because every take, they said she did not hold back. She sang it full on every single time.
What a treasure Hannah Waddingham is. Seriously.
We might cover this on the pod. We might do a bonus episode on the podcast.
No, we're going to. Not might. We're going to.
We'll probably do we're going to do a bonus episode of the podcast on this. For those of you that don't know, Hannah Waddingham is releasing a Christmas special this year on Apple
TV.
On Apple TV. Kristin and I watched the trailer before we started. I had already seen it, but I showed it to Kristin. It looks so fantastic.
Yes.
It does. To hear her, to be able to hear her sing, to see all the guest stars, the dancing, and it's a stage performance in front of an audience. So, we're going to cover it. We're going to do a special episode
with lots of surprise guests.
Which, come on,
we
already see a couple in the trailer.
Yeah,
we know Juna Tempo is there, Nick Mohammed is there,
Phil Dunster.
There are a number of Lasso stars that are part of this.
Yes.
So, but we're gonna cover it.
I love it that I love it that you that you said that about Roy mouthing the words to Let It Go, because Dave and I totally saw that, and it was definitely added into my notes immediately. Yeah. It was so great.
It's so great. But not only that, but we see there's a couple other moments from that karaoke scene that really stand out to me. That one being the first one. But we see McAdoo and Colin just in awe of Rebecca singing, as is the entire room. But we also see Nate drinking, doing shots with McAdoo and Colin.
Yes.
This whole thing has completely turned around.
They're a team.
Yeah.
They won together.
Yeah. They are all part of the team now. Nate, Colin and McAdoo have accepted Nate, and Nate has forgiven them.
Yes.
For everything, because he knows the true reasoning behind that was Jamie.
Yes.
It wasn't them.
Right. Yeah,
I mean, they're guilty
Jamie
of it,
without Jamie there, the team is more accepting. And that's another thing is, I was going to ask you this question is, do you also think that if Jamie was there, that they would not have won against Liverpool?
I not only do I think they would not have beaten Everton, but had they by chance beaten them, this karaoke thing would not have happened.
No, because it was the goal. The game was won by Roy, and Roy was the one that said, "We are celebrating tonight." And I don't know that if the game was won by Jamie, that Jamie would have said the same thing. And they probably would have just gone to some trendy bar and had bottle service and, just done all of those shallow, vapid things that Jamie likes to do right now instead of going to karaoke.
Well, I want to kind of want to say something to the point that you just made when you said like the game was won by Roy, not by Jamie. And I kind of feel like if Jamie was there and they won, the game would have been won by Jamie. But I feel like saying the game was won by Roy isn't correct. I feel like the win was led by Roy.
Yes, I'm sorry. And that is correct. Yes, you're absolutely right, because it was a team effort, because that's what they said. I mean, they said that it was a team effort led by a game winning goal by Roy Kent. And they said that Kent was a man possessed, and that is directly related to our friend Nate.
Well, let's talk about that, because
let's play it.
We haven't really spoken about Nate a lot, but this is a huge moment changing episode for Nate.
Can we play it?
Oh yeah, we're gonna play it. But I want to say, like, just real quick before we play it, to see the drastic changes of like moments of humor of Nate being under the bus and them almost leaving with him under the bus, to this moment in the locker room where, because before we get to this major empowering moment with Nate, we do see a moment with Nate and Ted the night before.
Oh yeah.
Nate has thoughts on the team. He tries sliding them under the door, but we see Ted, who's really having a hard time and drunk. Exactly. Kind of, he gets angry.
Yes.
Which we saw last episode was the first time we ever really saw him get angry. This time we see it. Alcohol is absolutely an influence behind it. Which you can kind of almost be led to, oh, is Ted going to have a drinking problem? But thankfully, that's not the case.
Yes.
This is a one-off situation. Well, I mean, we do see him drink later, but it doesn't become a problem.
No, no.
It doesn't. He doesn't become an alcoholic.
Right.
He doesn't use alcohol as a crutch. Like this is something he needs.
He's not Jack Shepherd.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So, and then we see the next day he is very apologetic, and he tells Nate, I read your thoughts, but I can never say them. You're going to do it. Which leads us,
because Ted knows that that's not his style.
It's not his voice.
If he were to say something like any of what he said, like what Nate said, it wouldn't have been genuine. It wouldn't have come from an honest place. And Nate eventually runs with it.
Yeah.
So,
God. It, like, hearing the difference in tone from how hesitant he is when he first starts talking.
Yeah.
To how confident he is, and to be empowered in that confidence by Roy.
Yeah.
Roy is someone who steps up to him and empowers Nate to be more confident.
He does.
During this speech. So rather than type it all out and say it ourselves like we do with other quotes, Kristin had the idea of like, well, why don't we just play the clip? So I feel like that's the best way to do it. So this is Nate's pre-game speech during that.
All right, listen up, fellas. As of late, I feel like y'all have heard enough of my jibber jabber, so I asked Nate the Great here to jot down a few of his thoughts and ideas about you guys and today's game. So let's focus up. All yours, Nate.
Okay.
Come on, boy. You got this shit, right?
You got this, Nate. It's okay. Okay, thank you. Let's do it. Isaac.
Oh, yeah. You got this, brother, right? Yeah.
I've noticed of late that you've been playing like a big dumb pussy.
What the fuck do you say to me, bruv?
You're more concerned about looking tough than actually being tough. There's a way to be intimidating without being physical. Hope you don't mind me saying. Sam.
Oh, no.
You're constantly getting beat on the wings. It's because you're indecisive. You second guess more than a shitty psychic. The only African I know more imprisoned by their own thoughts is goddamn Nelson Mandela. Oh, you think that's funny, do you, Colin? You know your fancy step over bullshit. Let me ask you this. Do you wax your pubes?
What?
Did I stutter, dickhead? Do you wax your pubes, yes or no?
No.
Then why are you always trying to play like a Brazilian? Yeah.
What just happened?
Rojas.
Roast me, amigo.
Right, you say that football is life, right?
Football is life.
Yeah, well, then your defence is death. The only person I've seen lose a man more often is Carrie fucking Bradshaw.
Sex and the City.
Yeah?
Tough but fair.
Right, Roy.
I got nervous as a viewer when he said Roy's name.
Go on. Say what you're going to say.
Okay.
Don't read it. Say it to my face.
The great Roy Kent. You're old now. And slow. And your focus drifts. But your speed and your smarts were never what made you who you are. It's your anger. That's your superpower. That's what made you one of the best midfielders in the history of this league. But I haven't seen it on the pitch at all this season, Roy. I mean, you used to run like you were angry at the grass. You'd kick the ball like you'd got it fucking your wife, for Christ's sake. But that anger doesn't come out anymore when you play. But it's still in there. And I'm afraid of what it's going to do to you if you just keep it all for yourself.
It's such an amazing speech. Like, it's filled with humor, but it's so poignant. And when Roy says, like, say it to my face, like, don't read it, say it to my face, Nate instantly has that confidence to do it.
Well, on top of that, it's also, this is from somebody who has been watching the team as an avid fan forever. Yeah. He has been on that field and with that team and in that locker room as an observer forever. And he knows this team inside and out, probably better than anybody else in that building. And he says exactly what they need to hear, obviously, because they won the game.
Yeah. He brought out a lot in these players in telling them the truth that they needed to hear.
I guess he is a wonder kid.
Here, when he turns to Sam and Sam's like, oh no, because he doesn't want to hear it. These guys know that there are things about them that they don't want to hear.
Danny Rojas, tough but fair.
Yeah. And I challenge you, if you haven't done it, I challenge you to go back and rewatch this scene, but only pay attention to Beard. His reactions to what Nate is saying are priceless. The
I like
looks
it when
on his face, like he has a genuine, pleasant shock. Like, I can't believe this is happening right now.
Well, Ted tries to talk to him and he's like, shh. He's like, you will be quiet during this moment.
Yeah, he says like, oh, Sex and the City. Shh.
Shh, shh.
Because Beard is in awe at this moment of what Nate is doing.
Yes.
In the best way. Like it's almost like a genuine surprise yet oddly proud moment of Nate.
Nate joins the team.
Yeah.
I mean, Rebecca joins the team. Keely joins the team. Nate joins the team. We all see the moment in this episode that all three of them officially join what is called, quote unquote, the team.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the lasso effect, man.
It's huge moments for all of them. And just like this is the reason why I love this episode as much as I do, because there's so much. Again, this is not just a different team. This becomes a different show. And going forward, there's so much more positivity There are friendships that develop. There are, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still emotional moments. There's a next episode is one of my favorite moments of all time.
Oh, I know what's coming. I know what's coming. I forgot until right now. Sorry. I got really excited.
Next episode is one of my favorite scenes in the entire series.
Yes, it's weird how a condiment can have so much meaning by the end of an episode.
But there's also a huge moment with Ted and Rebecca still yet to come.
Yes. Well, and there's still one more shitty thing that Rebecca's going to do.
Is there?
Yes, there is. We'll talk about it in spoilers.
Okay. But the next 3 episodes all have huge moments in them. My favorite scene is in the next episode, episode 8. The huge moment that I mentioned with Ted and Rebecca is in episode 9. And then we get an amazing finale.
Yeah, I love this show.
I'm so glad we decided to podcast on this.
Me too, because it makes my heart feel good.
And you know what's funny too is when we decided to podcast on it, I was instantly like, yeah, let's do it. And then I kind of had like that little bit of like worry of, oh, are we going to have a lot to talk about?
Yes.
And the more we continue on, I'm like, oh, there's so much to dive into.
Yeah.
With this show. Because I was worried. I was like, this is such a departure from Lost. Lost, we were doing deep dives. Like, is there really that opportunity to do that with the show? And then just this episode in particular as a prime example of like, yeah, there's a lot you can dive into with this show.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited about, I'm glad we're covering the show. Do we want to move to spoilers?
I'm looking at my notes real quick just to make sure. I love Ted and Sassy meeting.
Sassy Smurf.
Is there a Sassy Smurf? I feel like there should be. The team watching Iron Giant was amazing.
I've never seen that movie.
You've never seen Iron Giant? Oh, that's got to be added to your list.
Is it an 80s movie?
No, it's not. It's like late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, and it's a cartoon, so that's probably why I didn't watch it.
It's animated, yeah. It's Vin Diesel doing the voice of the giant too.
That just doesn't even sound right to me.
So
you talk about family. Family.
Stop it.
Talk about family.
We get to meet a new player. I'm avoiding what you're saying. We get to meet a new player this episode as well in Zorro. We're going to call him Zorro. We're going to call him Zorro because that is what he eventually ends up calling himself.
Zorro.
It's Zorro. Zorro.
I feel like I'm saying it right.
I feel like I'm saying it right. Let me see. Nate, it's karaoke. Rebecca, panic attack. No, I think we've covered just about everything I have that's not spoilery.
All right, let's move to spoilers.
All right, so then with that being said, we are going to dive into some spoiler territory. So if you want to avoid it, because we have a voicemail to play during this too, which ought to be fun. If you want to avoid it, just check the show notes to find out when we come back to talk about favorite quotes and the rest of it. So where do you want to start with the spoiler stuff?
I just want to do something very quick, real quick. Yeah. And that is Ted Lasso offering a movie night or a pillow fight. And that little tidbit right there goes directly into the Amsterdam episode, which is my favorite episode of the series.
Okay.
And they have their pillow fight in that episode.
And I love the fact too, like even before we get to that too, he's like, you know what? All you got to do is say pillow fight one time, boys, and we'll never watch another movie together again.
And it's true. That pillow fight, it made me want to join in, like, and smack my television. Like I just love it.
And what I love about that too is, I mean, again, we're jumping way ahead because that's what season 3. Season 3. Beginning of season 3. Yeah. What I love about what leads to that pillow fight is that, like, ordinarily he gives them a choice. It's movie night or pillow fight, knowing full well they're not going to choose pillow fight. They're going to choose the movie. But what leads to the pillow fight happening is that he gives them a choice to do whatever they want. You don't have to do a pillow fight. You don't have to do a movie night. You guys can do whatever you want.
You have the night off. They just couldn't figure it out.
They become so indecisive in what they're going to do because it has to be done as a team.
Well, that was McAdoo's rule.
Yeah, that they had to do whatever they decided to do. It has to be done as a team. They couldn't split up. And it leads to them having a pillow fight.
And then I think they had a movie night like afterwards or something.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but they did have an epic pillow fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just so funny because I don't remember hearing this line. And so I just loved it that immediately I thought of the pillow fight because it was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh, we didn't talk about it. We'll talk about it after we come out of spoilers. There's another thing that happens in this episode that we should make mention of, but we'll talk about it when we come back out. So what's the other big thing that Rebecca does?
Oh,
before the end of this,
she tells the press about Ted's anxiety and panic attacks.
No, that's not Rebecca.
Yes,
that's
it was.
No, it's not. Trent tells him later, my source was Nate. Nate is the one that tells the press about his panic attacks.
No, I thought it was Rebecca because Rebecca apologized to him.
No, Rebecca apologizes for the photographer taking pictures of him in Keeley.
I don't
because
know
because the leak of the anxiety attacks does not happen until season 2.
It happens in season 1.
No, happens in season 2. I've already rewatched the rest of season 1. Trust me, because I just couldn't stop myself.
I know I force myself to stop.
No, the anxiety attack leak happens in season 2, and it's Nate. Nate is the leak, not Rebecca. Rebecca apologizes to Ted for telling the photographer about him and Keeley and hiring the photographer to take the pictures of him and Keeley. So Rebecca's shitty moments are done. She is no longer against Ted at this point. Trust me.
I'll trust you. I'll trust you because you've already finished watching it and I'm doing one at a time like I'm supposed to.
I went ahead like 2-3 episodes.
Also, before we get to Michelle, did you notice that Sam and Rebecca had a little moment when he took her coat before she got up to sing?
Oh, I missed that.
They had a little moment. They've had now 2 little moments. They have foreshadowed this relationship without us even realizing it. And it's not until like this watch right now, because I'm in analysis mode.
Got it.
Oh my gosh. I did this yesterday when I was trying to spell and type out analyzation. And I was like, this is wrong. Like, I don't even know where I'm going wrong on this, but I'm in analysis mode. And so I have noticed now 2 small moments that foreshadow Sam and Rebecca, which I think is fantastic. But yeah, she takes off her coat and she goes to give it to somebody and he stands up and he takes it from her and she's like, oh, thank you. And he's like, yep. It's like, it's so awkward and cute.
I miss that. I'm going to have to go back.
It's because you're too busy watching ahead, Ben.
Look.
No, listen.
Let's move on.
I live in the rural South right now, and I have realized that when somebody wants to say something, they always start with listen.
So Michelle.
I hate her.
We have a rebuttal from Greg. And apparently is addressed to you, not me.
I'm very passionate.
I have not listened to this, so I do not know what Greg's opinions are.
Beef.
Beef. That's a good word for it. So I'm just going to play this. We were told specifically to play this during spoilers. So here it is. This is Greg's rebuttal to you about Michelle.
All right. So for the spoiler section, this is my feedback for Michelle. I will just say in rebuttal to Kristin's outward thoughts. So Michelle being a horrible person, I would tend to disagree. Just because in life, as someone who has been left, I don't think that my ex-wife was a horrible person for not being happy and feeling like she was in a position she didn't want to be in. I can't say that I did all of the things that were going to make her happy, and I would much rather her say, "Hey, I don't want to be married anymore. I've tried. I don't know how to move past it. We've done marriage counseling. We've done this. We've done that." I understand, and that she got to a point where she said she would keep trying, and Ted had to let her go, and I can completely empathize with both sides of that. As someone who has struggled in my own, romantic relationships, I also have, been in a position where I can't control my feelings, and in all honesty, it probably would be less painful for me to just say, "Hey, this is what's going to happen," because I feel like we're just spinning our wheels. I'm causing more pain by continuing to prolong the relationship. I get it. I do. I understand. I don't think that. Like Ben mentioned that he didn't think there was any definition about them ending up together. I don't think that Michelle and Ted ended up together when he came back to the States. I think she's there at a Henry soccer game, and Ted is the coach. And he came back to the States when he didn't have a place to live, and he came back to see his son, and that's where he unloaded his stuff and began to start his life anew, or not necessarily anew, but in the co-parenting style. Now, I could be wrong, but I really don't think they ended up together. I think that Ted loves his family, however that may look, and that he is okay with the way that things turned out. But absolutely respect your opinion about her being a horrible person. I also don't think that you also mentioned that stopped in London to drop off their son on their way to Paris. My understanding is that she didn't know they were going to Paris. She thought they were going to go, and Henry was going to spend time with Ted, and they were going to hang out in London with her boyfriend. Don't get me wrong. I understand the maybe ethical boundaries of dating a former patient, and I'm not a huge fan of Dr. Jacob. I'm kind of with Ted on that. Anyway, this is really long, but I did just want to say I disagree with your opinion respectfully. But hey, you know what? That's the wonderful thing about these shows is that you can see many sides as different people. All right. Sorry it's so long. Bye.
Okay, so before you jump into your rebuttal of Greg's rebuttal, I want to kind of defend you a little bit in the way I perceived how you said it. And Greg, I do appreciate the rebuttal. Like he actually reached out to me and he said, like, is it okay if I kind of rebut Kristen's thoughts? I was like, yes, please.
Always. Please
absolutely.
Always do that.
Yeah. This goes to anybody listening. Like, if you disagree with something that we said, please leave us feedback and let us know. But
let me just stop and tell you right here. I am a middle school teacher. Okay. There's a lot of rebuttal in my life. Yes. It is not going to hurt my feelings.
So I want to say, kind of in your defense of how I perceived you saying Michelle is a horrible person, I never took it as in her saying she's falling out of love. I never took it as in that was the horrible part. The horrible part to me, in my understanding and how you brought it up, is it wasn't the fact that how she was feeling, it was how she handled telling Ted how she felt.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, we can't help how we feel. We just
Yes.
can't. However, if you are in a relationship with your marriage therapist and your marriage therapist has possibly led the woman in the wrong direction of therapy and reunification, then yes, both of them are horrible, horrible people. Now, let's put that to the side for right now, because the Dr. Jacob puts a wrench in Greg's entire rebuttal just because of the situation of that relationship and how just disgustingly, awfully, unethically terrible that situation was. But blah, 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 blah.
I feel like this episode, in rewatching this episode, kind of shines a light on the fact that there was another outside influence that was making it difficult for Michelle to be able to move on, or
if she wasn't in that relationship or didn't want to be in a relationship, she wouldn't have been pressing him so hard to sign the divorce papers.
Yeah.
She needed to make something legal so that she felt okay about bringing the therapist home to Henry, because I'm pretty sure that that's the direction that it was going in, because it wasn't until a couple episodes more, and all of a sudden he answers the phone when Ted calls.
Yeah. And I can tell you, I don't think we meet him until next season.
Well, we're almost at the end of this season. So.
I know. So I don't think it's until next season that we finally meet Dr. Jacob. But I can tell you, as somebody who was in a relationship with somebody who was separated from their husband, not completely divorced, it was a point for me when we first started dating, being like, hey, like, are there divorce papers being drawn up? I know you're legally separated.
Mm-hmm.
Are there papers being drawn? Is a divorce going to be happening? Because I was thinking about my future with this person that couldn't proceed until that happened. It got to a point eventually where there was an understanding that it will happen eventually, but let's just worry about us and build our relationship, because we can do that even though it wasn't legally over yet, because it was just that it wasn't legally over. The relationship was over.
Right.
Legally, on paper, it wasn't over.
Right.
And so I can see it from Dr. Jacob's point of view, and like, I want to be with this person, so let's get this finalized. Let's do all this. Let's make this happen. Let's get these divorce papers drawn up. So, be as someone who was that outside influence at one point, I could see how Michelle probably had that same influence in a new relationship.
Okay, but if we stay with that thread, you have Ted moved because Michelle wanted space. Her therapist told her that she needed to get that space.
Oh, absolutely.
The whole
unethical
thing was orchestrated by this man, is my take on it. And
it's mine as well.
And so the way that she was manipulated into manipulating Ted, it was just, it was, maybe it's that I hate Dr. Jacob, and I do, but Michelle is a fully grown woman at the same time who was married with a child, and she's forcing a divorce on this man that she's already pushed into another country. And now she probably wants to get Dr. Jacob back into her life, or back into her house, because if they're divorced, then Henry can talk about it on FaceTime, and it wouldn't be weird for Ted 5,000 miles away, 3,000 miles away, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So that part is icky. But as far as the Paris trip, she told Ted she was going to Paris because she was like, I'm finally going to Paris. I finally get to go. So she knew she was going to Paris. They were dropping Henry off because they were going to Paris. What we assume was going to happen, and I think that this is where the assumption comes in, and it's been a while since I've watched season 3, but from what I remember, it's I think the idea was that he was going to propose to her in Paris.
Yes, I think that's kind of what they were leading us to believe as audience members.
Yeah, because I remember when they came back from Paris and he was downstairs at the taxi and she was upstairs talking to Ted, and things were definitely different when they
there was
came
a tension
back from Paris. And so to me, I just filled in the blanks with my own headcanon that she said no, and their relationship kind of dissolved after that. And we saw kind of the the last nail in the coffin in the final game in season 3, when he was like on his phone the whole time and Michelle and Henry were like, so we clearly saw that there was a separation between those two finally, which leads me to my next point. He absolutely 100% ended up back with his family.
No, I do still disagree with you on this one.
I know,
and Greg made a lot of the same points that I kind of feel like that was the home that he left. So that was the home that he returned to. He didn't have a place to go. He returned to where he left.
If he wanted to, if she wanted him back, he would say yes in a heartbeat. And she was on that. He would go back to her without even thinking twice, because that's him getting his family back.
No, I disagree with that as well. I think Ted is a much. I think he's matured, he's grown as a person, and he's realized that he doesn't need that.
Then he should have stayed in England.
Well, he went home for Henry. He didn't go home for Michelle. He went home for Henry because the final scene that we see in this series is him coaching Henry. Because
he finally understands the game.
Yeah, he's home for Henry. He's not home for Michelle. I think if they wanted us as an audience to realize that him and Michelle were back together, there would have been some kind of an embrace. There would have been a kiss. There would have been something that signaled they were back together. They were a family again.
So I guess this is how they wanted it to end, just because there is 2 ideas on whether or not they got back together.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is fine. That's fine. And we can have different opinions on that. But as far as Michelle is not a great person. She just isn't. She was selfish. She was manipulative. And it's proved over and over and over again throughout the 3 seasons in this show. She is just not. She's not the person that Ted should be with.
No, and
he should be with Sassy.
He absolutely should be with Sassy.
Yeah, I really hope that there's a continuation one day where he comes back to England and he's going like for an event, maybe they're going to honor him or something, right? And then they get him to come back to Richmond and he coaches them again, and Sassy comes, and then they get married, and then Henry's like, I want to live in Richmond too. And then Michelle's by herself in her stupid house with her stupid boyfriend drinking coffee instead of tea, and everything is right in my Ted Lasso universe.
I think the more we talk about this, we're really starting to realize that Rupert is not the true villain of this series. It's Dr. Jacob.
Dr. Jacob. No, well,
he is another villain of the series. I mean,
but you can also say that Dr. Jacob is the reason why Richmond ended up so good.
Well, same thing with Rupert. Rupert is also a reason why they turned out as good as they were.
Because of Rebecca.
Because of Rebecca.
Yeah. So our villains were really the heroes. That doesn't sit well with me. Just to let you know.
No, it's going to turn into a Fast and Furious movie now, where all the villains of the previous movie are going to join the family and team up against the next villain.
I live my life 1 cold mile at a time. I can't do Vin Diesel anymore.
No, it's fine. It's perfect. So I'm glad. So again, Greg, thank you for the rebuttal. To anybody out there, please feel free to send your disagreement.
Send in your rebuttals and we'll tell you why you're wrong.
No, we're not going to do that.
I will. Don't worry.
Okay.
Will. He'll be nice. I won't.
Anything else in spoiler territory that you kind of want to talk about? I mean, you mentioned, we've gotten those early indications of Rebecca and Sam, which I can't wait for, because it's the banter app that they start talking, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Which I think is next. That comes in next season.
Soon.
Is it?
I think it's in the finale. The finale, because she's in the limo, and I think that she's texting somebody in the finale.
Maybe
Didn't
it
you
is.
Just watch
I
the
did,
finale?
and I don't remember it, which is why.
Isn't she like in a limo?
Yeah. Oh, well, because she's in a limo talking to somebody on banter. No, it's next season, because they lead you to believe that it might be Ted she's talking to.
I know, and I like half of me was really excited about that prospect, but I'm so glad it ended up the way that it did.
I am too.
Yeah,
because I feel like Sam was very important to Rebecca's growth.
I think Rebecca was also really important to Sam's growth.
100% agreed.
But we're getting a man.
Yeah, we're getting way ahead.
Well, that's okay. We're in spoiler territory. It's fine.
Exactly. But anything else about in spoiler territory that you want to cover? I think
no. I mean, I'm really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to Ted's talk on anxiety with the reporters. It's one of my favorite moments of the entire season. And Ted's anxiety attack, his panic attack in this episode, made me remember that he's about to have like this really honest and open talk about anxiety. And so the whole leak or secret that was out about him having panic attacks or whatever, like that ended up being a blessing, that ended up being like a positive thing. So
yeah,
for Ted.
Yeah, because in next season, there's that moment where he starts to have a panic attack during the game.
And he leaves the pitch.
And then that's where it comes about, because that's what leads to Nate leaving.
I hate Nate.
Right now we love Nate.
Nate's fine, but that's the problem. That's the problem, is that I loved this episode with Nate and his speech and his wonderfulness when it comes to, but like in the back of my head, I know everything he's about to do. And I don't know, kind of sullies the rewatch for me a little bit. Like I don't love him as much as I did the first time around.
Well, because I know like because there is that little bit of bitterness because we know what he's going to do.
Did you wax your pubes? Did you hear me, dickhead? Do you wax your pubes? I'm like, oh dear.
Why
God,
are you playing like a Brazilian?
Well,
because I remember, and again, this is spoiler territory, so shooting ahead a little bit, and we'll talk more about this when it happens next season. I remember that episode when he pulls Ted aside and he goes off on Ted and he's saying like, how he was never felt appreciated. He was never thanked. And I'm like, gee, like I remember going from loving Nate to despising Nate in one episode.
Yeah.
Because hearing that entire spew to Ted and Ted just sitting there taking it, I was like, you piece of shit. Like you would not be where you'd still be a
kit man.
You'd still be a kit man if not for Ted. God, we're getting way ahead.
I know. There's a lot of anger rants coming up in future episodes, like when it comes to Nate.
But looking ahead, we get barbecue sauce start game next episode, which favorite moment from the series.
100%.
And then we get that really, really touching moment in episode 9 in the penultimate where Rebecca comes clean with Ted.
Yes. And he is so forgiving and wonderful.
Yeah.
Because he's Ted fucking Lasso, which is why I think that he ends up back with Michelle, because he'll do anything for people.
All right, moving on. So we're good with spoilers?
Yeah, we're good with spoilers.
All right. So then on that note, we're going to welcome everybody back.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about some of our favorite quotes. We're not going to do Nate's speech. We could play it again, but there's just so much in it, and it's like 3 minutes long, so we're not going to play that again.
But it was awesome.
I'm going to start, though, with a moment where Ted is having the conversation with Henry, and they're talking about going to Liverpool, and Henry tells him to say hi to George and to Paul and to, and Beard's like, still haven't told them that George and John are dead. And he's like, they're what?
They're what? I do like that. I do also like, I have a lot of sassy quotes here today just because she's amazing.
That's good, because I don't have many of hers.
Oh, that's good. So my favorite is when she goes, a fax machine, eh? You sending something to the year 1997? Yeah, with just a little note telling myself to buy Apple stock. Oh, good idea. Can you tell me to murder J.K. Rowling and write the first Harry Potter book as well? Can do. Yeah, I'll probably write handle instead of murder, so there's no paper trail. Paper trail. I'm Ted, by the way. Oh, sassy, like the Smurf. Don't think that there was a sassy Smurf, was there? That's too bad. Seems like a Smurf with an attitude would have been a lot of fun to watch.
That whole first interaction with Ted and Sassy is amazing. And the one thing I said during spoilers that we forgot to bring up during the main discussion, and I'll bring it up now, is how the episode ends.
Oh,
with Sassy knocking on Ted's door. And
he's knocking on a lot more than his door, Ben. You know what I'm saying?
And we're already past spoilers, so I can't bring it up. But I'll just say this: the moment that Ted meets Sassy or sees Sassy and meets her daughter in Rebecca's office is hysterical.
Yeah.
It's hysterical.
Yeah. Well, poor Ted, just trying to navigate newly single life.
Yes.
I just think it's funny. He signs the divorce papers, takes a picture, gets in the sack with Sassy.
Right? He moves on very quick.
Yeah,
although it was kind of not his choice.
Oh no, she came in. She came in. She was like, "This is happening."
She literally just walks in. And it's weird because like in that moment, you can kind of sense that one, Sassy was immediately attracted to Ted.
Well,
not just physically, but like personality wise, like that whole conversation that you just quoted, she is so taken in by Ted.
Marvel man.
Like to the moment where she realizes who Ted is when she's in the locker room and she sees him and they hug. And then she's asking Rebecca, like, okay, what's his story?
Yeah.
She's already taken in by Ted, but I think Sassy is so good at reading people, which we realize same with Rebecca. It's the reason why her and Keely get along so well, because they're both good at reading people.
Yeah.
She senses Ted needs this.
Yes.
So when she knocks on that door, she doesn't say a word. She just walks in.
She's like, "You're going to let out some tension on me and I'm going to take it. It's going to be great.
and you're going to like it.
You're going to like it and I'm going to love it."
I love in the beginning of the episode, before we even get to the opening credits, when they're talking about Everton. Oh, come on, fellas. How long's it been since y'all won up at Everton? 60 years ago. And Beard's like, Jesus Christ.
Torn butt.
The way he says, Jesus Christ. Like he's genuinely shocked. It's
a long time. I just loved it when Ted was like, "Sex in the City." Beard goes, "Shh, shh." I liked it when Sassy walked into the hotel room and she said, "Still giving you the big room, even without the old gray walnuts footing the bill."
Sassy is such a great character.
What a fun character to play too,
That the moment, like going back to that moment where she knocks on the door and walks into the room, I think I remember like audibly cheering. I was like, yes,
yeah,
let's make Ted a happy man again. Let Sassy use her parts to do it.
Sassy, good job, Sassy.
Yeah.
Sassy.
The moment where Nate gives Beard, and this is a great joke, and I don't know how many people got it. You have to be a real music fan to get this one, but when Nate gives Beard and Ted their keys, and he's like, "Room 5150, finally, Sammy Hagar, greatest lead singer in Van Halen history, and greatest lead singer in Van Halen history in the post David Lee Roth era." The reason why that's so funny to anybody who doesn't know, there have only ever been 2 lead singers of Van Halen. So it's either Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth. So to say he's the greatest in the post David Lee Roth era means he's not the greatest.
Right.
He's the
Right.
best.
He's last. Second best is last. Sassy again. "Oh, I know who you are. My ex used to masturbate to you like a maniac."
I want to rewatch this episode again now, just purely for Sassy quotes. My God, that's so good. You know what? I think that's really a lot that I have. I mean, the two that I have left are Sassy quotes, but we kind of already mentioned them.
I got 2 more.
Because the whole "that's not Rebecca, the real Rebecca is silly, strong but not cold. If you like that woman, then you're going to love Rebecca.
I don't smoke anymore, and yet you're still on fire."
I also love, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but another moment where after Keely and Sassy are having that conversation about the real Rebecca, and Rebecca comes back after having paid the bill, and they're like, "All right, are we going to do this? You're going to enjoy this. This is a lot of fun."
It's my favorite. That was one of my favorite parts. "Oh no! I was gonna pay. You did it again.
I was just about to take my wallet." Like I
like that Keely joined in on it too. You know, like that was really, really wonderful too. Seeing all of them together, and there was no jealousy or anything like that. Like I really, really enjoyed that aspect of Girlfriends, because man alive, historically, they just pit women against each other. And Ted Lasso is just so wonderful at not doing that across the board, not only with like girlfriends or anything like that. Like it shows how healthy relationships can be. It reminds me a lot of like Schitt's Creek. For those of you who watch Schitt's Creek, did you ever watch it?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay. So
loved that series.
One of the things that Dan Levy said, when he was being interviewed when the show was over, is he said that they didn't want to just have this show where they did like gay rights. They just wanted, they just created this show where it wasn't a big deal. That was just the life. That was the world that they were in. Everybody was like, it showed like how normal this can be in just small town America.
Acceptance was there from minute one.
Right. And and I feel like we've got that same thread in Ted Lasso with as far as healthy relationships versus toxic relationships. And it's a matter of getting the toxicity out and keeping those healthy bits in without shoving it in your face too much.
Well, not only that, but I don't know if you noticed this or not. And this is, again, kind of going back to the main discussion of things, but it's not spoilery, is I don't know if you picked up on this, but Rebecca is really good at when she has both of these great friends now. Sassy is back in her life and she has Keely. She's great at knowing, because they all sense a kinship in each other. So they all get along great when the three of them together.
How powerful. Go ahead.
But Rebecca also knows which friend she needs at which time.
Yes.
Because at the end of the night, when they're leaving karaoke and Sassy's getting ready to take all the boys out to the bar, Rebecca tells Sassy, like, I'm going to call it a night. And then once Sassy leaves, she turns to Keely and she's like, okay, let's go to the bar.
Yeah.
She sees an importance in being with Keely in that time over Sassy.
Yes.
But it's not insulting to the other person.
Right.
She's good at balancing these friendships and she knows who she needs at what point.
It's wonderful. It's really wonderful. And Sassy's like, cool, man. I don't care. I'm going to go with these guys.
I have to take all these boys to the bar all by myself.
Yeah. It's, and it's that lightheartedness and just that wonderful feeling of I can have as many friends as I like. I can have as many people in my life. Like everything's great. And I love that idealistic way because I truly try to live my life that way. Like I used to be one of those jealous girls like in the 90s and the early aughts where I was just like, no, you can't be best friends with that person. You have to be best friends with me. Like, I don't care anymore. Like I can have 10 best friends and everything's fine. You know what I mean? I think it's wonderful.
I don't get jealous when you call Jill your best friend.
I get jealous.
But when you call Jill your best friend, you get jealous?
Yes.
Okay.
No. It's still too early for me to be making witty jokes. I had something there in the back of my head. It went away. It's fine.
Gotcha.
I have one more quote.
Okay.
It's from Keely because I totally related with her in this moment when she runs out of the bar and she sees Rebecca and Sassy and she goes, I thought you guys ditched me. Jesus, I didn't know I had abandonment issues till right now. That's definitely my favorite.
I love all three of these women. They're like, they're so just fantastic together. It's a great band of all three people. And I'll find a lot. I'll leave you with one more sassy quote before we move on to feedback. Or not sassy quote, sassy moment. Going back to that moment where she's leaving with all the football players, we're learning that she is recently divorced. They could have very easily made Sassy a person who is leaving with all these football players. She is a newly single woman just sowing her oats. Like she could have ended up with, if not multiple football players that night.
Yes. Danny Rojas being first in line.
Yeah. And then, but they bring it back and they ground her that she just left with all these players, but she comes back to Ted.
Yeah, she comes back for the adult connection.
They could have very easily made her, to put it bluntly, they could have very easily made her a whore.
Yeah, very easily.
But they didn't. And I love that. I love that about the character. And I love that with the writing.
Agreed.
So any more quotes before
that was it.
All right, so let's move on then to the feedback, in which we have a couple. Let's start with the Facebook feedback, though.
Okay.
Because we do have a piece of Facebook feedback, and then we have a couple voicemails that we'll play as well. But why don't you send us with the Facebook feedback?
Sure. Lindsay Schlitt says, Michelle, me too, girl. What the fuck is the rush on the divorce papers? She is the worst. Yep. While Nate's speech to the team is funny, I also feel like we saw some foreshadowing with Nate's nasty side. Absolutely. Nice call. One of the things I loved most about this episode was how it portrayed female friendship. Yes, they could. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop responding to you, Lindsay.
No,
okay,
please
I'm just going to read
it.
They could have shown the stereotypes, could have made Keely jealous of Sassy and unhappy she showed up, could have had Sassy angry at Rebecca for disappearing. Instead, they showed Kelly and Sassy both being welcoming and forgiving and fun, and best of all, a great support for Rebecca while she deals with a painful anniversary reminder. Oh yeah, the painful anniversary reminder. Duh, that's why Sassy was there.
Yeah.
I don't know what I loved more, getting to hear Rebecca sing for the first time or seeing Roy mouth the words to let it go. I don't think I saw that the first watch. That is why Roy is my favorite. Rebecca helping Ted through his panic attack was of course the highlight of the show. Just adore her. So can I add a recommendation? Netflix has a new nature documentary series, Life on Our Planet. It's fantastic. Ooh, fun. I love nature documentary series.
I do too.
Does Attenborough narrate it? Because I need his voice telling me about the three-toed sloth.
That was what, Planet Earth, right? I think was the documentary that Attenborough did.
Yeah. This one's called Life on Our Planet. Life on Our Planet.
Yeah, I don't know who. I'm looking it up now to see who the narrator is for that one. It's rated pretty high. Oh, it's Morgan Freeman. I'm in.
Oh, even better.
I'm in.
Perfect.
So thank you for that recommendation, Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will absolutely be watching. Oh, it just came out recently too. October 25th.
She said new.
Sorry.
I heard you. I was listening, Lindsay. Don't worry.
It's only 8 episodes. I'm definitely going to check this out.
Oh, fun. Yes. Thank you, Lindsay, for the recommendation and for the feedback.
Yeah.
I obviously agree with everything you just said. I usually agree with everything Lindsay says, like everything. There's very little that she'll write, and I'm like, no, never actually has that happened across 3 podcasts.
Because Lindsay leaves you feedback for the other
for House of the Dragon. For House of the Dragon and for the Game of Thrones rewatch.
Okay.
Yeah. Lindsay came on my radar for the Game of Thrones rewatch and she Strange Indeed.
Okay.
She's awesome. I've never met her, never seen her, but she's awesome.
All of our listeners are family. They're great.
No, Lindsay's the best.
Even when they rebut how Michelle is the worst.
No, Greg is now at the bottom of my list.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Greg,
no, we're actually probably hopefully going to be doing something with Greg over on Wilhelm at some point relatively soon.
Matthew Perry related.
Yes, exactly.
And that's it.
All right. Speaking of Greg, he did leave us feedback for this episode in addition to the rebuttal that we played during spoilers. So let's kick off our voicemails with our feedback from Greg.
Oh, this fucking episode. Making Rebecca great again. And in fact, we do. We get the introduction of Sassy, who got her mustache ride. We get Nate kind of taking the bull by the horns, even if he's necessarily forced to. We get Ted snapping on Nate. I mean, we had a bunch of great stuff. And then to cap it all off, we get Hannah Waddingham just belting it out, channeling her inner Elsa and letting it the fuck go. And it's funny because it took me like, I don't know, half a dozen rewatches of this series or portions of series to get that she was the Ice Queen. Like it probably took people 4.5 seconds of, she's letting it go and it's fantastic. But I'll tell you what, since I have now watched Frozen, I don't know, 200 times in the past 6 months, since my 2-year-old is totally into Elsa and Anna, like, holy shit. Like I start hearing the notes from it, and I start tearing up. I see this episode, and just immediately, oh God, it all just fucking hits me. And I mean, this is like one of my favorites. This is absolutely one of my favorites. And then with her approaching Ted at the end, I love all the eventual callbacks to Keely's commercials that she doesn't remember making. And then I absolutely believe Keely when she says she has imagined it and it was glorious. Anyway, I mean, this is I personally think it's one of my favorite episodes of the entire series, and I'm looking forward to hearing you guys talk about it. All right, this is Greg. Bye.
This is Greg. It's like Ron Swanson. It was Ron Swanson.
Greg, you couldn't see it because we don't do the videos anymore, but the mustache ride comment broke Kristin and I.
Broke both of us. I don't think I heard half of your voice.
You like we were both doubled over, just trying so hard
to be quiet,
not to laugh on the mic during Sassy got her mustache ride. Thank you for that.
I do like, you know what? I do like the
the Ice Queen
of the Ice Queen. Of course. Duh. She's Elsa. That didn't even like cross my mind.
Yeah.
Good job, Greg.
That was a
you
great
were right on this
too.
Voicemail. Good job on this voicemail.
Sassy got her mustache
right.
Jesus, Greg, thank you for that. We were both doubled over on that one. That was ridiculous. In the best way. It was ridiculous in the best way. All right. So we do have a couple more voicemails. Let's listen to a voicemail from our friend Jason.
Hi, Ben and Kristin. This is Jason in San Jose. And since I was busy editing podcast episodes, I didn't get to leave feedback for either Tan Lions or Two Aces. And that was almost the case for Make Rebecca. Yeah, I can't say that name either. Anyway, I just wanted to add a few thoughts before I missed the deadlines this week. A little out of order, starting with Two Aces. I'm so happy to see Danny Rojas join the show because football is life. I love Ted's plan. Oh my God, that just killed me. Yeah, I too get hung up on words like that as well, both with pronunciation and spelling, like the word weird. So anyway, moving on to Tan Lines. I really didn't hate Michelle like you guys had mentioned. In my 12-step recovery groups, I've seen the ending of marriages and that need to let someone go. Sometimes that space allows for healing in the relationship, and other times it allows both parties to move on amicably, even though it's painful. But yeah, that ending really, really had me in tears. Which carries over to this week's episode, Make Rebecca Great Again. I have been through panic attacks just like Ted, and it was just so realistic. So hard to work through, but I really loved how Rebecca was there for Ted in a similar way that he was there for her in the episode for the children. The Iron Giant moments in this episode with the team were great as well. Anyway, I really wanted to keep the feedback for this episode as short as possible so I can make the deadline this week. And even though we had a glimpse of it earlier, I'm so looking forward to the official Diamond Dogs. Woo, woo, woo. Until then, this has been Jason in San Jose. Namaste, baby.
That's gonna be that. I think that has become the official sign off for.
Yes, it is. I said it yesterday just to say it.
First off, Jason, thank you for leaving feedback for the past two episodes because you missed it, and I do want to put it out there to anybody. Like, if you're getting caught up with the podcast and you want to leave us feedback to an episode we've already covered, please feel free to do so, because we'll still use the feedback and talk about it. But I also want to say and Jason has been great about this, and he has done it all through our coverage of Lost and now into this. You and I are very open about the fact that we suffer from anxiety. We've had these panic attacks. So I appreciate it when we hear it from other people as well in feedbacks, people being very open about the fact that they've suffered from it as well. And that's how they kind of relate to everything that happens in this series. That's one of the reasons why we chose this series to cover.
Yes, I agree.
Is because of a lot of that.
I totally agree. Yeah. Well, that's why that's why this show means a lot to a lot of people, because we live in an anxiety-inducing world right now. I don't know one person that's like, no, I'm good. Everything's fine.
So much so that like even there's, I don't know if you saw this, but there's a trailer for Inside Out 2 from Disney coming out, where there is a new emotion joining them. And that emotion is anxiety.
Of course it is.
So
it should, and I hope it starts pressing all the buttons, because that's what anxiety does. It's like the crazy toddler in your brain that just keeps like pressing all of the don't panic buttons all at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
then you have to put them in a playpen and be like, just go over there, please.
So thank you, Jason, for the feedback for both past episodes and this one, as well as being open as you always have been for this. But that leaves us with one more piece of feedback, and that is, of course, a voicemail from our friend Steve Brown.
Hello, Ben and Kristin. This is Steve, and this is for Ted Lasso Season 1, Episode 7, Make Rebecca Great Again. This one kind of snuck up on me, so I hope it's good. Oh, no, that's right. Nathan, trying to get the luggage sorted out, gets stuck in the luggage compartment. Oh, that's right. This is the one with the package with the divorce papers. Oh. Then Keely and Rebecca exchange. Oh, I have. It's great. Whoa, 60 years of not winning at the away game. Wow. Well, I forgot that Ted had gets Nathan out of the luggage bin before they leave. Oh, good for him. Rebecca's having a conversation with the reservation desk while Keely is playing the steak video. I can't even make it through this. Oh, and our first introduction to Sassy and Stinky. I can't wait. I love this first meeting of Ted and Sassy. The smirk with an attitude would have been great. Oh, that's sweet. The ties that bind us, Rebecca. But that's not Rebecca. Rebecca's silly. This is great. This Keely and Sassy interaction. Oh, yeah. And we see a dark side of Ted right here, where he's about 3 Steves to the wind almost. Oh, and now Ted's asking Nathan for forgiveness for biting his head off, and he's going to have him say his comments to the team. Oh, Ted just said it. Is this the first Nate the Great reference? Roy used to run like he was angry at the grass. I love it. And I love they don't even show us the match. They just give us the end of the match, 1-0. Had to pause it for a second, but Sassy saying she wants to ride that mustache like a jet ski is just hilarious to me. Oh, that's right. I forgot Rebecca's song, but Beards is even great right before it. Oh, and Sam is the one that holds her coat. Oh, the camera editing on this is so good, showing Roy watching Keely and then cutting it to Ted having his anxiety attack. Oh, man, I'm getting choked up just watching it. Wow. And then Rebecca being the one to bring him out of his panic attack and meet him in the alley. Oh, okay. I've gone way too long, so I'm just going to stop it here, and I will talk to you next week.
Kristin just got broke again.
I did 3 Steves to the wind. Because I've seen Steve with lots of alcohol in him, and I just love that he called it 3 Steves to the wind. Steve, I love you so much.
Yeah, I forgot that like Sassy. I know we kind of got broke by Greg mentioning the mustache ride. I forgot that Sassy actually does mention it herself too, wanting to ride that mustache like a jet ski. Another great Sassy quote that we got from this episode. And Steve picked up on Sam taking the coat too. I missed it. That was in spoiler talk. So yeah, that was in spoiler talk. So we won't say much more about it. I did miss that though. That was a moment I missed. So, but thank you, Steve and Jason and Greg and Lindsay and everybody who left this feedback. We encourage you guys to do it whenever you can as we're progressing through with the show. Easiest way to do that, go to revisitedpod.com. There you can find links on how to listen, subscribe, leave feedback, all that fun stuff, or you can just email us directly, either in the form of an email or a voicemail to feedback@revisitedpod.com. Also, check out podcastica.com because there's a ton of stuff over there.
Lots of content.
A lot of stuff. More stuff coming. I know Jason and
Lucy.
It was Lucy. Jason and Lucy are doing a Walking Dead rewatch at this point.
Apparently Jill told me yesterday, because Jill's in town, yay, that they are 3 or 4 episodes in now. I had no idea that they started, because if you're not on Facebook, apparently you miss everything. So now I have to go back and catch up. And it's so funny because we just showed my 10-year-old son the first 30 minutes of the first episode before I realized it was bad parenting, and then we turned it off. Because he said, I'm fine. This is fine. I said, which is why we're turning it off. They just started it not too long ago. So they're into that right now. I think Paik and Rima, I think they're still on their Fall of House of Usher coverage. Okay.
But they're also covering Bake Off, which that's such a delightful show in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will make mention of this. Well, starting next week, my Wilhelm podcast and Podcastica are teaming up on a project. Mark Kirkman and I, as well as Jason's going to be popping in occasionally. Rima, Paik, and Daphne are going to be popping in occasionally. Mark and I are going to be covering the new Godzilla series on Apple Plus, Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. So, and that will actually release on both Wilhelm and podcast and House Podcastica feeds.
Fun.
So double the audience, which is going to be fun.
I've never seen a Godzilla movie ever.
They're so good. The new ones are really good. All right. The old ones are kind of dated, but they're still the new ones are good. Recommendations for the week. Anything?
No, my life is really boring right now. Although tomorrow
you're going to a concert. Your life is not boring.
I'm going to the Pink concert. I'm very excited. Jill and her daughter are in town, and me and my daughter are all the 4 of us. Jill made us t-shirts, and we're all going to the Pink concert in Charlotte on Sunday, which is tomorrow for us right now, but
yesterday for
last
those listening.
Week or yesterday. Yeah. So by the time you listen to this, I will be pinkified. Very excited.
That's awesome. I don't know if I have any recommendations this week as well. I think I had one early on and I forgot it. I think I thought of one when I was in Rhode Island. I was like, I need to recommend this on the podcast. And then I completely forgot.
You know what? I have one, and and I'm not done watching it yet, but it's really good so far. And that's the Ken Burns, the U.S. and the Holocaust documentary series.
Mm-hmm.
It is eye-opening. We are not innocent in World War II and the rise of fascism in Germany. And I suggest everybody watching this documentary. It's very, very, very good.
I don't think we're innocent in any war we've ever been a part of.
We're not innocent in anything that we do.
The U.S. has never been innocent in any war we've ever played a part in.
No. We're the most selfish, greedy country on the planet.
I agree with that. So since I don't have a recommendation, I'm just actually going to share Lindsay's that she gave us on her feedback.
Yeah.
And say, because I plan on watching it, and I know you probably do as well.
Yeah.
Check out the new documentary, Life on Our Planet, on Netflix.
2 documentaries. Yes, we are very brainy.
Not narrated by Morgan Freeman. You know what? There is a documentary on Netflix that I absolutely loved. And I want to make sure I get the title right. It's more for sports fans. And it was by Kurt Russell, actually. I think it's called the Battered Bastards of Baseball.
Ooh, alliteration.
Yeah. It's an excellent documentary. It's by Kurt Russell, and I think his son helped him with it as well. And it's about his family legacy, because I think either his grandfather or his great grandfather, whose first name was Bing,
Bing.
he attempted to rebuild like a baseball franchise in Oregon. So it's all about his family legacy and how they tried to revive baseball in a state.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a great documentary, and it's only one movie. It's not a series, so I think it's like about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Oh, fun. Okay,
and it's still on Netflix.
I can't look at Kurt Russell's son without thinking of him in Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
He was in Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Yeah, he's fake Captain America.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
That is not Kurt Russell's son. Is
yes,
it?
It is. Yes.
Okay, now I got to look this up. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He was U.S. What's his name? Son of a bitch.
Haha, I was right. You were wrong.
Oh, it's his other. Okay, he has two sons. There's Scott Russell, and then there's Wyatt Russell. Wyatt Russell played John Walker in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I still win.
You win. I was wrong. I will admit it. Which I will also say too, as a last minute recommendation before we sign off. I watched the finale of Loki last night, and it was amazing. I
haven't seen one episode this season.
Of this season, it's only 6 episodes.
We're just gonna binge it, I'm sure.
And I'm pretty sure it's the last.
Okay. Well, that's okay. You can't have Tom Hiddleston tied to a TV series. He's too important.
I agree. We need to see him in other stuff.
Yes, very much so. Please.
I love him as Loki, but we need to see him in other stuff. And I feel like I won't spoil anything, but the way this season wrapped was a great way to kind of wrap the character's story.
Good, because that character has died quite a few times. it's time.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very good way to wrap the story of that character, of all these characters in this series, while giving this character an ending it deserves, as well as having a major impact on the Marvel universe as a whole.
Yeah,
and I'll leave it at that. I was very pleased with the finale. Very pleased. All right. So with that being said, any final thoughts, notes, anything before we move on?
No.
All right. Next episode. Oh, I should have looked this up before. I can't remember the name of the episode. It's season 1.
It's not called barbecue sauce?
No, it's not called barbecue sauce.
Oh, is it called Diamond Dogs?
It is. It's the Diamond Dogs. You were right.
Yay!
Yep. Yeah.
I'm going to go downstairs and watch it immediately.
I know. I'm probably going to watch it while I'm editing this. Season 1, episode 8, The Diamond Dogs is the next episode we're going to be covering. And I've mentioned this before. It has probably my favorite scene in the entire series.
It has everybody's favorite scene. If you're a Ted Lasso fan, this scene you talk about it, I can't wait. Okay, that's it. We'll talk about it next week.
We'll wrap it up there. So with that being said, thank you as always for being a part of this family. Thank you for listening, subscribing, leaving feedback, all that you guys do. But until next time, we'll see you guys out on the pitch. Take care.
Namaste, baby.